Hi YouTube, I hope everybody's doing well. I was trying to recall what I had heard on that on the spot about them leaving God out of the picture about whatever they were talking about. I was just irked, so I turned it off. But then after I had mentioned it here, I tried to go and find the episode that I was watching, and they're all reruns, so I came across another rabbit hole, and it's just like, okay, so I didn't remember. So, anyway, let me read you something that's kind of funny. Excuse me a minute. Let's see here. Okay, this is hardware humor. A conservative is a person who doesn't think anything should be done for the first time. Um, Here's a patient after the exam. Well, doctor, how do I stand? Doctor says, I don't know. It's a mystery to me. That's pretty good. Sign over an office copier. This machine is temporarily in working order. Software company has merged with a convenience food manufacturer. This their oh wait, their first product is stovetop publishing. Haha. And then the trouble with a good sport is that you have to lose to prove it. I like that one. Been there, done that, haven't we all? But yeah, it's just our little tiny paper in town here has this hardware humor every week, and Doug liked that one about um a conservative because he's a procrastinator, and sometimes when you procrastinate, put things off, it'll fix itself. Well, that's, I think he hopes that a lot. I'm not. I'm I gotta get it done type of person, so yeah. Which I was doing today. I was scrubbing out my sink and washing my dish drain and all that stuff, and organizing my silverware and things that I had taken out of the dishwasher and all that. So I'm doing that, and Doug was going to run to town to get me some ingredients to make my summer sausage and pay some bills, whatever. So I thought he forgot his wallet, and he comes running back up the driveway, and uh, a baby deer had gotten hit down in the road, and we knew somebody or something was going to get killed there pretty soon the way our neighbors drive. I mean, there's trees. It's called Tunnel Road, and you can't see over a couple of knolls and hills. If there's kids on bikes, my youngest son got ran off the road by a neighbor and his truck on his bike. So I went up there and I talked to the guy, and I was pretty nice about it, but he didn't seem to care. And I said, if you do it again, if you don't hurt my child, I'm going to come and hurt you. Well, I really probably wouldn't have, but I did know friends who would have. Back in them days, I might have considered that because this guy was a drug pusher, a drug dealer in our neighborhood. As a matter of fact, because of him, I had cops busting down my door in the middle of the night. They were knocking on the door. I said, just a minute. I got up and I was in the bathroom, and this little, um, I'll call him one of those, uh, what do you call them? Oh, not a Navy SEAL. Oh, Marine type looking dudes with the butch cut and everything. He had leather gloves on. First thing I seen was this leather glove opening my door, and I yelled into Doug. I'm like, Doug, somebody's coming in our house. They were coming in our house because they were looking for this dude. He called himself Moses. That wasn't his name. It was something Charles something or another. But yeah, it was really very strange. But he ended up moving out. He was just renting a neighbor's place, and I'm kind of glad he's gone. I was taking my kids to school another morning, and this man was out getting his mail in his underwear. And I sort of sped up to scare him and then slowed down. But, because he didn't even see me coming, I was driving a little red Omni and kind of quiet, but when I sped up a little bit, he looks and I'm like, and then I yelled out the window, put some clothes on. you know, he just looked at me like I was crazy, whatever, you know. At least I thought he should have put some clothes on, so yeah. But anyway, so last night, here, this is the theme of my video today: crazy things that Minnesotans do. Um, as far as their food habits. We're known for our hot dishes, which is neither here nor there to me. But we go and get ice cream when it's like 30 below with the 30 below wind chill, so it's like 60 below, sub zero. And we go and have ice cream. I don't know what it is about it, but we'll be in town, and I'm not a big ice creamy eater anyway, so why would I crave it when it's 60 below? I have no idea. Yesterday I had a craving for wild rice bread. I've been talking about that quite a bit. So I made a big loaf, and it was only like 100 degrees out and like 100% humidity. It did sprinkle last night, so but I turned the fan on, blew all the heat out the window from my oven, so put it on my counter one and just blew it out and baked that bread. So made a salad last night. Had some of my good cheese on my wild rice bread, and yeah, it was excellent. Totally excellent. If you don't know what wild rice bread is, it's the bomb. Talk about fiber, you know. It's an excellent way to get a grain and it's one of the grains that I can eat. So, and I love, like, even more than that, I love whole wheat, cracked wheat bread. Oh, I just love that stuff. Can't have it. I can't have whole wheat. I digest white flour. I get the unbleached, but I digest that better. I can't have rye, which I love. A lot of grains I can't have. Sesame seeds I can't have. So, anyway, or shouldn't have. Once in a while, we'll get like a French bread and it'll have sesame seed on it, and I'll knock a few of them out and have a few, but it's like, I don't know. So tonight, I'm going to take my wild rice bread and my almost non fat cheese, which tastes like a farmer's cheese or a real light, mild white cheddar. And I'm going to take, then I have some low sodium, which that's low sodium too, I made, and low fat American, and a little bit of cheddar I have. I'm going to take the yellow cheddar. I'm going to take those three cheeses and make a grilled cheese with three different types. So grilled cheese and probably some pickles. And Doug always likes like chocolate milk with his, because that's one meal, not with the good bread, but that's one meal when he was going to trade school that he could buy really, really inexpensive and eat something. For me, it was like an egg sandwich. I used to buy like an egg sandwich and split it with my dog, So, um, or like when I ran away one time to Florida, I was gonna pick oranges, but I got busted first. But I made it to Florida. Um, couldn't get a job because I was too young and just stupid. I was just stupid. But anyway, on the way back, I was hitchhiking back, and first I met these kids that their mom and dad owned a diner, and they let me hang out around there for a while. And then I was in Alabama, and I got busted, and they put me in a detention school before they could come and get me again. So, oh, that's what I was gonna say though. So, um, oh, that's my horse running. You can be quiet. I know. My dog's telling me. But, so Doug come back in the house, and somebody had hit that deer, and we called the DNR, and, well, he did. I looked up the number. and he didn't want to shoot it. You know, it was just like a little 100-pound baby, real light colored, real pretty. Usually comes in the yard in the evenings, in the morning, so we don't know how long it had been laying in the ditch or by the road. He saw it, and she got scared and crawled into the ditch away from Doug. He said she had a gash on her back leg, and he didn't know if her front legs were broken or not. So that was the bummer of that. So kind of a bummed out day. I raised a baby deer, and mine got killed too. So it's like, yeah, we're not too big on deer hunting, and you know, that's kind of. I don't know why my dog is crying, but you can be quiet. So might be the DNR. If they couldn't find it in the ditch, they might be coming to ask, but I don't know anyway because I wasn't the one that saw it. But he did tell them where she was, and maybe they can save her, or you know, put her down. I guess they might have to. So yeah, that's too bad. I sent around a post on my Facebook about men and women that do this too, but I was talking to somebody in particular, and a lady that's going through a hard time, and I didn't want to address her personally, so I just said ladies and some men, you know, watch out for those men that hurt women and children to feel powerful, and there are a lot of them. There's women, excuse me, women that do that too, and I wrote that in there also. I know that, you know, but yeah, I'm like, you know, and then I went on to say, you know, as far as keeping God's laws and stuff, and men don't want the responsibility of a family like they used to, and at least as far as what I've noticed in my years, and you know, just to be aware of these type of people. Pretty much. And then I said, yeah, well, ignore what I'm saying and you can justify anything you're doing, you know. So, yeah. Thought I'd get on here and shoot the breeze. And not much going on except for break time. Um, Probably, I don't know if I'm going to mix up that sausage mix tonight, but I'm going to smoke it out on my grill. It takes 24 hours for it to cure, at least 8 or 12. So if I mix it up in the morning, tomorrow morning, then the following day it'll be ready and I can smoke it outside, and then I won't put the liquid smoke in it. I'll be actually making smoked sausage, so that's healthier. And then I found a chef that I might have told you, but with my recipe, you use Morton Quick Tender or these other curing salts. Well, you just replace that with like sea salt or Himalayan salt, and then you chop up every 2 pounds is a quarter cup of celery. Well, you take your, if you have a mortar and pestle, and grind it up. And that's got natural nitrates in it, which will cure the sausage. So I'm going to try that. It's like, hey, I won't have any garbage in my lunch meat. It'll be just totally healthy. And the fat drips out, so it's low fat. So I'll let you know how it turned out. Yeah, it'll be good, I'm sure, because when I make it in the oven, it's excellent. And then if you smoke stuff, if you like that flavor, it's just good. But this chef I was watching, he took liquid smoke and watered it down, which is good because I really don't like that stuff. And he painted it on the outside, and it was really weird. I made my sausage recipe out there for everybody, and the reason that I print it is because a lot of people don't know cursive. So and they really don't. When my kids were going to school, it wasn't mandatory to learn proper writing. They could print, and it drove me crazy. They had, excuse me, they had beautiful penmanship, but it was all printing. It's like, where did all the pretty cursives go, all the loop-de-loops, which I never, my penmanship, I do other things well, but my penmanship never has been the greatest. I got like a broken knuckle here, and when I play drums, I smacked myself when I was first learning. Um, and then I was wrestling another time and literally body slammed somebody on my hand. And so, yeah. And then I've used them quite a bit. What really got me bad was I was working at a trucking farm when I was 15 and packing carrots. And those cold carrots, oh my God. I'd walk home. I had my bike, but I was so tired after work. I just literally, I'd ride my bike there, but push my bike home. I was so tired. We got paid by the piece, so as many as I could pack is what I got paid for. So we worked our butts off making money. Worked there a couple different times on and off through my teenage years, and yeah, but yeah, those cold carrots, man. I didn't know I had osteoarthritis. I just know it hurt, you know. So excuse me. So yeah, not a whole lot going on. Let's see what else. Just been extremely hot and muggy, and now the bugs are out, which is really atrocious. I'm not a big bug fan. I love summer. It's like I don't know. I have mixed feelings about fall, winter, and spring and summer. Summer is my favorite season, but I love winter. I love winter sports. I love spring because the flowers are so beautiful. And lastly, I'd say I love fall. I don't love all the dead leaves. I used to, but now they bother me as far as allergies are concerned and the sadness of the decay. It's like, yuck, you know. So, especially when a person gets older, I think decay stuff might bother them more, you know. But anyway, I was really hoping that the DNR would just leave me alone because I used to work for a vet, and then I actually saw dead people in the retirement home, and had worked on ranches and had my own animals, and chickens, cats, pigs, whatever, lamb. Um, I don't want to help take care of any more animals. Period. It's kind of like canning. Um, no offense, Cindy. I hate that shit. I really do. I did so much canning when I was younger, and even for my kids, and I'm sick of it. I hate it. I really do. I'll go the easy route. I'll make preserves, then you don't have to take the cheesecloth and make the jam clear and that type of stuff. That's the way I roll. Or I freeze things, or I'll dry them, or I'll do anything before I can. Although I do make pickled eggs, those are canned. Or I'll make refrigerated pickles, which are really easy. Um, Stuff like that. I mean, if I had to, if we were in desperate times and I had to can something, I would. And then I'm allergic to paraffin too, so when you're making jams, and I've burnt myself and I've had hot wax all over me, I mean, accidents happen, and even being around that stuff isn't good for me. I don't want nothing to do with it. Nothing. I'm not going to wash jars and boil them. You don't have to heat the lids and rings anymore like you used to, but you're still the boiling water with your clamp and the pressure cooker, all that. I've got all that, everything I need to do it. I will not do it no more. It's like Doug said too. A friend of his is like, when they were young, they used to get together and work on cars, and he does like carpentry work right now, but he's like, oh yeah, we should get together and work on my car. And Doug's like, we got so many vehicles of our own and customer cars that we work on. And Doug just looks at him. It's like I went to school for that, like me. I went to be a chef, you know. Um, when you're trained professional like that, and then somebody's like, oh, yeah, we'll just do it for fun. I don't think so. Not happening here. It's like giving away my knowledge or being used. I just been used up. I'll help somebody, or if somebody has questions, or but there's so many online tutorials about canning. I mean, and it really is pretty simple, you know, basically, you know. So that's where I stand with that. Oh, I'll make pies, berry pies, and preserves, and dried fruit. I have a food dehydrator, um, stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not going to go cooking with nobody for fun. It's not fun for me at all, you know. And if I did, you couldn't pay me enough. You literally do not have enough money to have me cook, period. As a friend, hell, I'll work hard through the day and make something to eat if you're around when I'm cooking. I love to share what I've got. I absolutely love to share whatever I have with everybody. But doing it to preserve it, to put it on the shelf, no thanks. Nah. Best wishes with that. You know. So yeah. Anyway, and then I worked in bakeries, and when I was working at the casino as a dealer, then came back for well, I call it a hiatus, but I had to be here for my youngest son, and then went back as a hostess in their buffet, and just being around the smell of food a lot, and having to do it, when I have to do it, I don't want to do it. If I want to do it, it's kind of fun. Like yesterday, whipping up that loaf of bread, or like when I made cheese. I don't use recipes. I just put things in a bowl because I've done them so many times. It's like, you know. So, and cooking is a great science. It really is. Like your amounts and what's going to work and what's not going to work and that type of thing. So, it's an alchemy. All part of it. It's like God when He was mixing us up. He's like, little of this, little of that. We'll put red hair on that one. So, so I really mean no offense whatsoever. Like I said, I will share everything I have, everything. Even if you wanted my old man, if he wanted to go for it, I really could care less. I mean, it would be like a bummer, but I really wouldn't care, honestly. I know that sounds sick, and I've said that type of thing to Doug, and it drives him freaking batty. I don't have a free marriage at all. I would never dream of cheating on Doug, although I gave him a letter of divorcement. It's just, if that's the way people are, I mean, I don't want to be around it, and I wouldn't be. So, um, but I have integrity, you know. It's an integral part of my being. So, but I really wouldn't care, you know. So I deal with it just like I do everything. It's like first a little bit ago, my youngest son was mad at me, wouldn't talk to me, and then he was talking to me. But after I put that thing out about men not wanting to take responsibility in life for women and children and actually being good leaders, which I have not found maybe one that can follow the commandments as well as I do, but no better. I have never found anybody. I would actually, maybe on the same level, I found a couple that could actually say something to me. I can relate on that same level, but as far as telling me something, not nothing. in 61 years have I found anybody that I give credence to that high of a regard, that I would say, hey, you actually have that going on, and I deeply respect that. No, no, not at all. So if I see that, I'll let you know. You know, like I say, I've met a couple on the same level, same wavelength, but as far as being above that, no. That's why I won't listen to no man literally actually preach to me, although I do enjoy somebody with the understanding of the spiritualness of it instead of what's written in a book and just screaming like they don't talk about the commandments or seven deadly sins. They could care less. Most people could care less if they eat a great big old bloody steak and drink their gin and tonic or what it is, martinis, whatever, you get my drift. Um, get in their fancy smancy cars and then sit up on a pulpit and scream at me how I'm dirty. It's like, no, that don't cut it here, buddy, at all. That will never work with me. So, yeah, I've never come across the closest when I was a young woman. The closest I came to actually listening to a preacher, I saw like Billy Graham in person, um, and I used to listen to Harold Camping, and he was a gentleman. His knowledge of the Bible was righteous, and I could tell that he literally loved people just by the way he presented himself as a man. And that's what I expect if I'm even going to get close to looking up to somebody, you know. Serious. I'm serious here. I mean, you can swear, you could have a cigarette or smoke pot or whatever, but how are you inside? What is your moral value of yourself? How high of a regard do you hold yourself and your self esteem? That's where I'm going with that. So, yeah. Anyway, so that's what's on my mind today. Just weird things that go on in Minnesota. Baking when it's hot and eating ice cream when it's freezing. Go figure. Who knows? It's just strange. I used to have it. Now Doug likes cold stuff when it's hot out, like a salad or something. But it used to be that he wanted hot meals all the time. Well, that would drive me crazy because I'm like somebody that'll just grab a sandwich and I'm good to go, you know. And but he'd want something hot. Like he used to make jokes at people like if they were overweight, like meat and potatoes or something. But oh, he has a tendency to get a little pudgy, and some of us do. And I have to watch myself, but that's why I fast through the day so I can eat whatever I want. And then if I do like a 2 or 3 day fast, usually once a year. When I was sick, I couldn't do it. I had a pretty bad spout in my life where I could not eat enough. There was nothing I ingested that was making me feel good. It didn't matter if it was a fruit, a vegetable, protein, it just didn't matter. Everything I ate tasted terrible, but I didn't know all these allergies. So if I had like a handful of nuts, I'm thinking to myself, hey, I'm eating healthy. when not when I'm allergic to them, how weird is that? So, yeah. So yeah, I had to learn what I can have them or when, and and what with, and all the weird things like that. Like I told the nurses when I went to get some medication for it, and I didn't stay on that for long. Now I just take a little store-bought allergy pill every once in a while for the antihistamine. But I told them, she said, and you're not allergic to dairy? I said, no. I said, if I couldn't have a glass of milk, I said, I guess I'd die drinking a glass of milk because, yeah. I enjoy that. I really enjoy a cold glass of milk, especially on a hot day with the whey protein. And oh, that just helps. It really does. And when you're working your butt off, you know, you got to be careful what you're putting in yourself, you know. So, well, you do should anyway, but yeah. Anyway. I don't know if you noticed, but I didn't smoke a cigarette this whole video intentionally. Like, yeah, I'm not gonna. Just for you. Serious. And myself. It does myself good. So, but yeah, so my youngest son's mad at me again. I know he is. He took a picture and flipped people off, and some girl asked him, "Who is that for?" And he's like, "The people that know me will know who it's for." And I'm thinking, yeah, okay, whatever. That's cool. I'm cool with that. So go be a jerk. You know, because well, see, he makes statements like, "Ah, I'm just spitting it out. Whatever. He's just a man, you know. Whatever." Of course, I pray for him, but, you know, and he used to have God in his heart, but drinking and drugs and all that, well, it'll take its toll on you. And when you're pushing 35 years old, you know, it's like decision making time, you know. But it's like not enough, what do you say, bitches around, I won't name the town, um, time to get mobile, um, lookout heifers, you know, something like that. It's like, okay, if you want to offend somebody, there you go. Good job. And if you're watching this, hey, kudos. Great offense mechanism there. Seriously. Totally bypassing some of the crap I've been around. So, yeah, whatever. You know, being that y'all don't know him anyway, it really doesn't matter. Even if you watch this kid, you know, so whatever. And I'm not kidding, that's grody. Totally gross. Yeah. Even I'll go back, and I've said this probably 100 times, maybe like every other video. No, but I'm serious. Even when I was a teenager, you know, and my friends were being like, look at him, or look at him, or whatever. And I'm like, it's freaking weird, you know? That's the way I always felt about it. I don't know. I just always felt like when I was meant to be looking, I was gonna be somebody's, and we were gonna be looking at each other. That's the way I always feel. I always will, and that's the way God made me. So, you know, if I think somebody's a cute human being, it's because they have God in their heart. And if they don't, you're really not too cute to me. There's just something about it. People that try and be all that, it's just like such a turn off to me. It's like, I can't describe it. Like you see these people. Okay, here I'll give it for instance. I had this uncle that was a player, and I knew he was cheating on his wife. He had 3 daughters. Comes jumping down the steps. He's got on this white suit and white shoes to go with it, and I'm thinking, wow, that really looks bad, and it did. It was just ugly, and got in his sports car, you know, leaving his wife and kids at home, and he said something to me like, how did I like his car? Or something. And I said, I don't. Whereas I had a grandpa that lived right next door to him and right next door to me because our properties were all connected. And my grandpa had sports cars. Well, he had a 57 Studebaker, and then he had a Hawk, and then he had a Gran Turismo Studebaker that was a 61. little white sports car with a baby blue leather interior. God, that was snazzy, as he would say. I used to help him take care of that. And then the Studebaker Hawk was a 57 with the fins. And he used to let me play in there. It was my Batmobile. So I spent a lot of time at my grandpa's house. I call him my good grandpa. He had a pump organ, one of them old ones. He had it all redone so I could go over there and play it. I had a little one in my room too, one of those Magna boxes, but that old one, that was incredible. If he was busy, like with customers or something, then he'd close the door. But most of the time, he kept it open. So, but I put my little cousins in the back of that old uh, Studebaker Hawk, and I was always Batman, and they could be Robin. Once in a while, I'd let them be Robin, but they were little kids and they didn't know how to drive. I was already like driving by the time I was 9 because my mother had a cancer scare and they taught me how to drive. So I had like snowmobiles and then went into like motorcycles and cars and everything ever since I was pretty small. I started actually, first time I drove, I was 4 with help. So, yeah, anything that motivated, I was interested in. So, well, yeah, I love vehicles. I do. And I am happy that I know enough that if something goes wrong on like something that pre-computer years, carburetor years, I can take care of it myself even without a man in my life, which is really nice to know because who needs them? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Kidding. I am kidding. I have 2 sons, and I really do have a great respect for their good parts. You know, their intelligence and love in their heart. I hope God advances all that in everybody, including me. You know. So, all right, everybody, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you for joining me, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.